Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Rock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of August 12th, 2015. Ginormous stack of books this week, like just a lot. So be prepared to bring some pain to your wallet. So let's start with the pull list. First up on the pull list is Batman 43. I cannot tell you about the current Batman story arc because I have not been able to actually get down to reading it because I'm so far behind. I'm about 3 months behind on this, just due to the fact with summer and not having time and all that stuff. So, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard good things. So, and it's just Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo have been amazing on the title. So I'm just really stoked to finally get down and read it. Next up, we have Bloodshot Reborn #5. Some of these titles might have been on digital last week and finally in print this week. Sometimes that happens. So yeah, if you've noticed, well, I read this digitally and it's already read. That's because sometimes it happens that way. But a little behind on this one, but I enjoyed the first couple issues I read. Jeff Lemire's doing a great job with it, so I'm going to keep going with it. But yeah, Bloodshot Reborn #5. And then we have Catwoman #43. Looks like Batman's making an appearance in his armored suit. So we'll see how that pans out. Again, I'm behind on a lot of my pull lists by about 3 months, so kind of sucks. But hey, I'll get caught up. I will get caught up. Next up, we have Constantine #3. I read the first one. I believe I read the second one. So this one I am caught up on. Enjoying it so far. Really good stuff. So I'm looking forward to issue 3 and checking it out. New #1 from DC. This is DC Comics Bombshells. If you haven't noticed my obsession with Bombshells, then yeah. So this book is aimed directly at me for numerous reasons. So I'm looking forward to checking out the Bombshells of the DC universe in this. So yeah. Next up, we have Descender #6. This book has been amazing from what I've read. I'm a little far behind, but yeah, still looking forward to it. I haven't heard any bad stuff, so that's always a good sign. Next up is Earth 2 Society. I know I'm on issue 3. I haven't even checked out issue 1 or the preview yet, so I'm hoping this is good, following in the vein of how good the Earth 2 books were, so we'll see. But Earth 2 Society. Next up is Imperium #7. Looks like Divinity makes an appearance in this. I've enjoyed Imperium very much. It's a really solid title from Valiant. So yeah, a lot of the Valiant titles are really, really solid titles. It's a shame that they don't really see shelf life, especially at Comics Conspiracy, because we just don't have people buy it off the shelf. We have subscribers for it, but we don't have anybody who's actually picking up individual issues off the new release shelf. So that's kind of sad to see, but I'm always recommending it to people, especially as kind of something that's not mainstream, but really, really good stuff. Next up, we have Starfire #3. I've read issue 1, enjoyed that, so I'm curious to see where issue 3 takes us after I read issue 2. So yeah. Then we have the new Suicide Squad #11, Deadshot on the cover. Yeah, looking forward to this. Hoping it gets a little bit better. The Adam Glass stuff was just amazing with the New 52, and since the movie trailer, that #1 has shot up to like $100 in some cases. I know we sold a copy at the shop, the Adam Glass Suicide Squad from the New 52 for $100. So yeah, Suicide Squad's good stuff. Hopefully this stuff kind of picks up. It's been a little bit lagging, but you know, I'm hopeful. Next up, we have Unity #21. I've really enjoyed Unity. It's another one of Valiant's solid titles. This is kind of like the Justice League Avengers of the Valiant universe. Just really overall great stuff. Next up, we have Velvet #11. If it's been a while since you've seen a Velvet book, it has been. They don't necessarily come out on the best schedule, but it's Ed Brubaker and Stephen Epting, and so we just wait and enjoy it when it comes out. And if you haven't read Velvet, you should. Then finally on the pull list is Exo Manowar #39. Looks like this is the start of a new story arc. I need to actually get caught up with the previous story arc and finish it. So, yeah. Again, summertime, I really don't have the amount of time that I normally get every week to read books because I'm actually reading them on my break at my day job at the high school. So I'll like take a stack of books with me and take a walk around the neighborhood and read. And I can walk and read at the same time. It's amazing. And so I can plow through like 6 books at a time, 6 to 10 books a day. So that really, really makes it easy to, pound through a pull list. But during the summer, I don't get that. So I get a little bit behind. So like the first week of school is normally a huge catch up with getting caught up with books. So hopefully at the beginning of September, I'll be caught up with a lot of this stuff and have a little bit more to tell you about them. But for now, please be patient. Next up, we have the Bombshell variants that came out this week. There was a decent amount of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 total, but we only got 5. Our entire Bombshell shipment of Action Comics number 43 was shorted, so I'll have that hopefully next week to show off to you. But first up, we have Batman number 43. Looks like Bruce Wayne is pulling a question. He looks very much questiony in that one. Next up, we have Batman Superman number 23. Looks like Batgirl's about to jump out of a plane. Whatever. Lois Lane's taking a picture. Catwoman looks amazing. 43, the little kind of magazine-esque cover. Awesome stuff. Then for those of you who love Black Canary, Green Arrow number 43 has the Black Canary. She sings with the birds of prey. So this one goes along with the Huntress one that we saw last week. But really enjoying that. And then we have the Suicide Squad one, which has Belle Reve as like a department store. It's a fucked up department store, but it's an awesome department store. So yeah. So those are the Bombshell variants this week, except for the Action one. I will have it next week, hopefully, or the week after, depending on when we finally get it in. But yeah, it sometimes we can get stuff overnighted. I know we were actually shorted our copies of Batman. We didn't have enough for subscribers or the wall, so I did get to snag a copy, which you saw, but we were shorted most of our order of that, and so yeah, hopefully that gets overnighted, so we'll have it tomorrow, but who knows with Diamond. So let's get to the read list. First up is Action Comics number 43, the regular cover. Yeah, a bunch of stuff going on with Superman. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. So we'll see where Action takes us with this. But for me, Superman just hasn't really been as good as it used to be. But he's a very difficult character to write about, especially having so many connections to his Superman family books and Justice League and Wonder Woman and all of this stuff. So I can understand the difficulties behind making good Superman stories, but there's a point where, come on, you gotta try a little bit harder. It's supposed to be one of your flagship titles. Next up is A-Force number 3. I mean, it's okay. It's not fantastic. I'm curious to see whose name pops up the most in this issue. America was the first one. I think America popped up like 6 times in the other one. So I'm curious to see how many times they mention America in this one. But yeah. Dropped from my pull list to my read list is All-Star Section 8. Number 3 is out this week. The reason I dropped it was because I don't have the history behind this book with Hitman. I felt like I was kind of missing out on something as I was reading it. It's funny, it's entertaining enough, but it's not something that I necessarily want in my collection. So I dropped it down to my read list. But hey, that's what happens. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 20.1. If you're reading the Spiral story, this is part 5. Yeah. That's all I got. I mean, it's okay. It's not a great story arc. It's just them pumping out more books that aren't Secret Wars related. Next up, we have a new number 1 from Image. This is Beauty number 1. Just figured a number 1 from Image. I'll check it out, see if it's any good. But yeah, number 1 for Beauty. Then Grant Morrison's 18 Days from Graphic India. Number 2 comes out today. I read the first one, it was interesting enough, so I'm going to check out number 2 to see if I like it. We'll see. Then next up we have Empire Uprising, number 4 from Mark Waid. Again, I haven't read the prior Empire stuff, but it's on my list of trades to get. But I've been enjoying this so far, so you can jump in at this and be fine, I think, because I seem to enjoy it. Next up, we have Green Arrow number 43. This has been a really, really good book ever since Jeff Lemire picked it up, and even after Jeff Lemire left, it is still a solid book, so I enjoy reading Green Arrow. But number 43 is out. Next up, we have Inhumans Atlan Rising number 4. I've been enjoying this Secret Wars tie-in or title book. I'm curious to see how this kind of wraps up. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's like a kind of rebellion type of book. It's really cool. Next up is JLU, or Justice League United, number 12. Issue 11 was weird. I'm not sure what I think of it yet, so I'm kind of curious to see how issue 12 does. But yeah, it's got Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy in it, so I mean, it's got that going for it. But it really feels like they took Justice League Dark and Justice League of America, but Canada, and kind of crammed them together and took characters that they were no longer using, but people enjoyed, like Animal Man and Swamp Thing, and threw them on there, even though Swamp Thing was in Justice League Dark. But yeah, it doesn't feel... It feels like they cram stuff together to make this book instead of it just being its own thing. Then next up we have Korvac Saga number 3. I read the first 2. Okay, I mean it hasn't completely turned me off. I mean, it's got the original Guardians in it, but we'll see how well my interest stays with issue 3. Next up was a really good title from that I've really enjoyed from Secret Wars, which is Planet Hulk number 4. Just really good overall. I'm curious to see where it goes, but yeah, just solid stuff right there. Next up is Red Hood Arsenal number 3. First 2 were okay. It's kind of a weird... This book hasn't really found its footing yet. I know that what it's trying to do, but we'll see if it succeeds. It might not be on my read list for very much longer, but shame. But hey, I got a bunch of other books to read. Oh, take a drink. Okay, so next up we have Secret Wars number 5. If it felt like a long time since number 4, it's been a while. So let's see what happens in Secret Wars number 5. The 2, 3, and 4 were amazing. So I'm hopefully that kind of momentum carries through to 5 and the end. Then we have Secret Wars 2099 number 4. Just an book. I mean, it's okay. It's not horrible. It's not great. It's just mediocre. So then we have Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde number 2. This is... I'm not sure what to think of this book. It has Peter Quill from the regular Marvel Universe going, what the hell is going on? And then he kind of hides himself as Steve Rogers, a lounge singer guy, and then he's considered an anomaly. And Kitty Pryde is the X-23 of this. I don't know. I'll read issue 2 to see where it goes, but I don't know if I'll keep with it very much. Then what's being touted as the crossover event of 2015. We have Star Trek and Green Lantern. The Spectrum War number 2 is out. Enjoyed number 1, so I'm looking forward to checking out issue 2. Is it just me? Looks like he's... Oh, that's the little dude wearing arc welding. No, sweet. Looked like a Guardian in there for a second. But yeah, curious to see how this goes. Kind of like both of these space universes smashing together. Then finally on the read list is Star Wars Lando number 2. The first issue was awesome. You should really definitely check it out. Lando's just such a great character. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this book heads. But yeah, it's just really good stuff. There was 2 books that I wasn't able to pick up because we didn't have too many copies of them. One was Fade Out number 8. I've been enjoying Fade Out. It's a really slow book, but hey, I've been enjoying it. And then, sorry, number 2. Drink number 2, that is. And then we have Mercury Heat number 2. That's a Kieran Gillen book that I checked out issue 1 of. I'm not sure what I think of it yet, so I'm going to give issue 2 a try. Hopefully it keeps my interest, but I don't know. Now, there is a couple of things that are coming out this week, merchandise-wise. If you haven't noticed, there is a Red Lantern Bleez behind me right here. One of the DC CoverGirl statues. Awesome statue. Again, I want to try and do these unveiling videos, but yeah, I'm not too sure. And it's telling me I don't have very much time left, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. Thanks again for watching. Please follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. Like, subscribe, share this video, all that wonderful stuff. And also pay attention because the mother boxes are in. They are. So, again, thanks for watching, and I'll check you out next week.